Hey everybody, my name is TC, and today we're gonna take a tour of a store called Acme Superstore in Orlando, Florida. I think this is one of the coolest vintage retro store that carries a lot of toys and comics. An overview of the toy area aisles. We're gonna look at the Ninja Turtles aisle first. See a lot of new toys with vintage. That Rock Soldier, and I really wanted that one. I kept coming back to look at it, but I don't collect toys anymore. I've collected toys for 3 years. Toys from my childhood in the late 80s and 90s. I kind of just stopped because I ran out of space and I move way too much to collect toys. So a lot of my toys are in boxes. But if I was still collecting toys, I would get that Rock Soldier. It fits pretty well with my vintage Bucky O'Hare. Here's a full view of the case. And then I saw this turtle figure history, Leonardo. Pretty cool. And I saw this, I guess the newer version of the Cave Turtles from the 2003 series line. Super Shredder over there. I have another Super Shredder here with Hello Kitty, Raphael. That scuba dive Michelangelo is pretty cool. I think it's like 100 something, 170 something like that. It's really expensive. I do like that. That chef guy. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of the vintage toy Ninja Turtles toy line. And then we have a bunch of Turtles bootleg. Still in their bags. That's not a bootleg April O'Neil, is it? I don't know. April, Pink Ranger. I like how they threw in some books just to give that background pop. 2 cases. Those cases always change. I might come back in 2 months and it might look different. I've never seen these before. And I remember watching this show in 03 when it was airing and these toys were out, but I've never seen these toys. Battle Nexus, Turtles, Ninja Knights. It's underrated. Toy line, the 03 Turtle series. Stranger Things and Turtles crossover. They have a lot of card, re-release card and boxes. I'm just looking to see what kind of variety do they carry. I already have a few of these re-released Turtles. Jenny from Bucky O'Hare. I also have a Jenny from Bucky O'Hare already. And I also have the full vintage Bucky O'Hare line. I'm going to the He-Man. These mini He-Man figures. I don't know what these are. Alright, we're gonna go back to the Turtles. This is just across the aisle. Technodrome 330. That snake guy is pretty cool. I like the color combination here. That's why I was lingering around here. And then it gets kind of dull over here, but it's alright. That's a really cool helicopter. And then the shelf over from that is a He-Man shelf. I like this red backing that they put on this glass case shelf. I don't know, it's different. It gives it a different feel. A lot of people just leave it white or black. This is where the standard case comes from. But I like that red.
Yes. So there's no certificate, like an authentication. So there's no authentication. It's cheaper because of that. It's usually around 120 to 140 if it had like a certificate with it. It's just for people who collect it to know for sure that they signed it. We verified it with others. Like we looked at pictures of other signatures to make sure that
The newer figures, the colors don't pop like the vintage figures. We have a Rock Lords mix with He-Man. That's cool. Ghostbusters also have a very cool pack. The new figures, standing with the vintage figures, they do blend in each other and go pretty well with each other. Becker's Mice from Mars. I also remember watching Becker Mice from Mars. Dr. Killamoff by himself right there. Captain Planet. I don't see a lot of Captain Planet toys. Maybe because they go fast or people don't want to sell them. I like these extreme dinosaurs. I was very, very close to getting these. But they don't come with accessories, so I did not get them. Also, I don't have space, and I stopped collecting toys. But it's very tempting. And then we get the Street Sharks. This seems to be a random area with some D&D. Yet again, I'm going back up here just to look at these once more. Alright, next case. The cool little toys. You gotta have the whole set or else it's not as cool. At least I think so. It's a Thundercats. I like how they have boxes, carded in boxes of toys in the shelf in the back, and then they have loose figures in the front. Exo Squad, I do collect Exo Squad. I have some. I don't have these, but I'm kind of picky when it comes to Exo Squad. You have to be, or else you're gonna spend a lot of money buying a bunch of toys you don't like. So gotta be kind of picky because they're kind of expensive. A few carded Barnyard Commandos out there in the back. I do have a few Barnyard Commandos. Think like 5 or 6 figures. I love these little colorful vehicles. The blue over there, the yellow there. And a bunch of random stuff on the bottom. Battle Toads. See that girl from Mystic Knights. I'm not familiar with these little figurines. They do look really, really cool, and they're very colorful, but I'm not familiar with them. I might not have passed by them when I was a kid. And look at these 5, 6 shelves. And then if you turn around to the other side of the aisle, have carded and a few loose He-Man figures. Having loose figures in bags like this, I don't know if this started here in the States, but I've seen this type of figure in bags in Tokyo when I went to Tokyo back in 2018. And I went to a toy store in Tokyo and saw loose figures in bags. I thought that was an interesting way of carrying, toys that you want to sell. And then we get a small section of Ghostbusters. And these Biker's Mice are not selling. So this Evelyn is just in fantastic condition. I almost was gonna buy that too, just because it just looks really good. But I do like my toy loose. I do like to play with my toys. I don't really like to buy carded toys. Because if I could get them loose, I would. I'm just checking to see what's on the peg. Seems like there's a lot of the same figures that no one wants. So here, these are just photos that I took. I like to take photos. I think it reads different than videos. Alright, now we're gonna go to the G.I. Joe section. I am a G.I. Joe fan. I have quite a bit of G.I. Joe, those 3-inch vintage G.I. Joe toys. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time here. These this Baroness bike set, I remember when this came out. It was an exclusive Target toy, and Hasbro made very limited amount to ship to Target, and Scalper basically bought all of them, pre-order all of them, and I could not find that Baroness bike set for maybe like a year. Basically, Scalper, obviously everybody knows, but Scalper will pre-order these, all of them. They will get them when they release, and then they will then go on eBay and Amazon and sell it for double, triple the price. And I was not about to pay $100 for something that costs $30. But I finally got the bike with Baroness. I love these classified figures. I think Hasbro made a good decision to make these. And then Super 7 makes the 3-inch. I think that was a good combination. Here are some cowboys and Indians. I think these look like 12-inch figures. I am not familiar with these, but they look very interesting, and they have a lot of accessories. You can see the bags down there with all the accessories, clothing accessories, weapons accessories. Max Steel. I remember vaguely this cartoon. I think it's the 3D cartoon in the 90s, mid 90s, early 90s. Very vague. I remember that guy with a metallic face. More G.I. Joe. So that Dusty, I hope it's a Dusty and Tripwire, the Tiger Force Tripwire, I really, really like. I was really close to getting them. And again, I had to hold myself back because I really don't have space. A lot of my toys are in boxes, and I don't want to buy toys to put in boxes. So I kind of held myself back and I didn't buy them. But I really want them. I can always get them later. That yellow Dusty in the back next to Lady J. Dusty is one of my favorite G.I. Joe character. I think he's overlooked, but I like him. I like him in one of his episodes where he needed money for his mom or something, and he was a double agent and joined Cobra to spy on G.I. Joe. I like that episode. Also, really like Spirit, but that Spirit was the color scheme is a little too dark for me. I like the original one. I have the 3-inch, but would like to have that 6-inch. This looks more like a Cobra shelf section. That's a $900 jet. Here are the other G.I. Joe cases. Up here, Cobra headquarters. Is it? They want $950 for it. I like these Mortal Kombat and Street Fighters G.I. Joe crossover. When I was a kid, I used to have Scorpion. Transformers, G.I. Joe crossovers. See a lot of Destro. G.I. Joe have some of the coolest vehicles, I think. And man, these vehicles take up so much shelf space. I also like those smaller vehicle bikes. I think I have one of those for one of my G.I. Joe. Mainframe. I have a mainframe. I think its O-ring broke. Last time I checked, I don't. Someone O-ring broke. One of my G.I. Joe. You have a Lanark core, the core figure mixed with G.I. Joe. They actually Leonard's core figure mixed with G.I. Joe pretty well. Really cool vehicles. A few of the Cobra's vehicles. $250 for this Cobra Bug. 99% complete. Alright, so these are some of the re-release. Is it like mid-90s? I don't really know this line of release. But I just know that the paintings on these are not that great. And of course you get the Super 7. Raven. I don't know who Raven is. I was just trying to see what kind of characters they carry. Barbecue. This guy looks pretty cool. For some reason, I like characters with with a mask. That's Duke. Is he carrying a lightsaber? Is that a thing? At first I thought that Red Ninja was Jinx. I like these small little vehicles. These seems to be a different line, maybe like early 2000. I really don't know. But the sculpting is different. This is a cool box. Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover. This is Bumblebee. I don't know when this released, but man, the paintings on Lady J and Baroness is just kind of sloppy. I like these too. I like Lady J here. These seems to be from a different line. Also, pretty cool idea. Package them like this. Gung Ho and Destro. Destro looks really different in that series. Loose figures, my favorite. Pretty cool Snake Eyes. I was looking at that, I was like, is that Zorana? But she has that, some camo thingy on her. I can't really see her face or her body. I was trying to look at the image to see how she was designed. Some pretty cool figures. I think I had this guy when I was a kid. Is that Beachhead? I do need a Beachhead. I don't have one. If I ever do want to get back into buying those 3-inch G.I. Joe, I'm not sure which line of Beachhead I'll get. I guess the default idea is to go to the vintage one. But I kind of like these. These newer series. Or the later series, rather. Not the newest one. I like these cards. Card backing. But it was just too much to sort through. Alright, now we're gonna head to a different aisle. I think this aisle has a little bit more of random stuff that kind of really don't go well together. But and this is just one case of the Godzilla line franchise.
I heard some kids say they're gonna bring Game Boys and send phones or bananas.
When I was a kid, Anguirus was one of my favorite monster. And Rodan is one of the scariest one. I think because it's a possibility that Rodan can be real, can actually exist. I think there's a cryptid called Thunderbird. A lot of people describe it to look very similar to Rodan. I don't know what series these guys are from, but they look like Fist of the North Star characters. Maybe it's the same artist, not necessarily the same show. Used to love Mega Man when I was a kid. Played a lot of Mega Man X when I was a kid. Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. But I never had Mega Man toys. I just played a lot of the games. I also don't have a lot of, I also don't have Street Fighter's toys, but also played a lot of Street Fighter's video game as a kid. A color variant Chun-Li and a color variant Blanca. Sam and Max is one of my favorite TV show growing up. It's a little wacky, and I think that's why I like it. Transformers, Mega Godzilla. This guy's huge. Transformer section. I watched Transformers and I watched Beast Wars, a lot of Beast Wars as a child, but I never collected Transformers toys. I only have a few Beast Wars figures when I was a kid. I think one of the reasons why I did not have these kind of Transformer figures as a child was because I like to play with my toys, and sometimes I'm a little harsh when I play with them, and I was always afraid to buy Transformer toys because they look so fragile. They have so many small moving parts that if I play with them a little too hard, they might just break. So I never had a Transformer toys as a kid. Now this guy's huge.
You see the silver markings on it? That's a different one. Oh crap, I got some box right here. I would only buy the refill marking. There's no any more than that. I want the Blue Ranger. That's nice. That's Super 7 right there. Oh, it's still not good. So it's still like not really. They would rip off the lip with that. I'd probably drop it. Oh, Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
What? You gotta go everywhere, man.
Now here is a Beast Machines cheater. I also watched quite a bit of Beast Machines when I was a kid. Never saw. Whoa, almost fell. I never saw this at the store when I was a kid. Pretty cool. But it's like, I think it's like $50. I don't know. It's a little one-off if I get it, or if you have one, I guess. Here's the Beast Wars, I think. Yeah, Beast Wars shelf. Now this is a really cool Beast Machines Optimus Primal. They want $80 for it. Honestly, I almost was gonna get this. I kept looking at it. Yeah, I love that box and card display on the back to give it colors. And is that a Robotech? I'm not too familiar with Transformer enough to know if they cross over with Robotech at one point. But that does look like a Robotech jet. tenders. Alright, so I saw these beast machines, Rat Trap and Cheetor. These are the smaller ones. From that huge one that we saw earlier. I've actually never seen a Rat Trap at the store. When they were selling these at the store, I've never seen a Rat Trap. I have seen a Cheetor at the store when they were selling these. I think here they're asking $20 something for the Cheetor and like 40 something for the Rat Trap. I was almost gonna get the Cheetor, the Rat Trap, and the Optimus Primal, but I'm not gonna do that. Voltron. What happened to Voltron? It was popular. It was getting back on track in the 90s. And then I think in the 2000 it kind of just fell off. I don't know if Voltron is actually doing anything right now. Ronin Warriors. I had a few Ronin Warriors as a child, but you know, we'll look at some later. This store do have a Power Ranger section. I didn't spend too much time here because I think it's a little overwhelming and I didn't have time to go through it. I was a huge fan of Power Rangers when it came out in the mid 90s. Star Trek. I think it's kind of rare to see a Star Trek section. I did grow up watching Star Trek The Next Generation on TV when I was out in the 90s. So I do have a soft spot for Star Trek. I love this carded figures section. I did find a few figures that I liked that I want to get, but like I said, I like them to be loose. I would feel terrible if I had to buy one of these and open them up. Witchblade, I think. Yeah, Witchblade from Todd McFarlane. Saw a lot of these toys when I was a child too. I don't think Walmart or Target carry these, or even Kmart. I don't think they carry these. A little too edgy for those stores. I saw these figures at maybe places like Hot Topic or other smaller comics, cards, and figure stores. I don't think they're much of a action figure. They only have 5-point, swivel points, hips, arms, and neck. There's no elbow, there's no knee. So I would always consider these more like statues, mini statues, rather than action figures. Okay, this guy looks cool. I don't know where he's from. But he looks cool. But he doesn't match anything that I have, so that's always a bummer. Although he does look like he could fit with the turtles, right? Okay, this Bond Gorilla looks pretty cool. Wildcats. A lot of Spawn figures. I like Spawn, but I don't think I would ever collect their figures. It's just a little too much for me. So I was just eyeing these Wildcats. They seems to have all the characters from the line. But then again, they're carded. I just don't like carded. Not sure who this is. It looks like a Wildcat, but it's not a Wildcat. Yeah, these are so cool. And I think they're like $13, $15, $18. Around that price each. Carded. I think that's not a bad... It's not a bad price at all. Maybe if I want to get back into collecting toys, I'll do a Wildcat line. I don't think they're hard to find. I don't know where this is from, but it caught my eyes because of the color, the size, and the articulation. They seem to only have one, so it's alright. I guess we're in the dinosaur Jurassic Park area. I love the first Jurassic Park movie, and I really do like dinosaurs. But I was never attracted to the Jurassic Park toys. I think one of the reasons why I was never attracted to the toys was because in the movies, the dinosaurs are portrayed as antagonists, the villains, and the humans are always portrayed as the heroes. So I never felt right buying villains characters. I think if Jurassic Park made a line of just really cool human characters, I think that would be more attractive to me. They do have a whole aisle of Star Wars, just Star Wars from the beginning of the aisle to the end of the aisle on both sides. I didn't want to show too much because I think we're all very familiar with Star Wars. Just that, I just want to show that Princess Leia because I never seen that. That looks pretty cool. And then at the end of the aisle, I think there's these 2 cases or 3 cases of display. I don't know if these are for sale, but they're just display. This is that chaotic scene where all the Jedi's jumped in and fight, and then they all died. And then this is that rainforest part. I'm not too familiar with Star Wars. I know enough to identify it. I don't know every name. I don't know everything about it. I think this playset's really cool. The bar scene. Oh, I forget if the band is in the background somewhere. I saw this randomly placed here. Used to love the X-Men, especially this TV show when it was airing. I don't really know why they chose that Cyclops. If this was packaged to look like the TV show. Interesting choice there. I also really love gargoyles when I was a kid. I think I have a few gargoyle toys. But these are just way too expensive. I think like $50 each. Here is a dollar comic area. I feel like one day I want to come here and just spend 5 hours digging through the dollar bin. And this store do carry comic books. So this is a action figures from the Guyver anime series. I love the Guyver anime series. And I've only seen this toy on eBay and on other online sites. I've never thought I would see one in person. It's really heavy. I don't know why it's heavy. Maybe the toy itself is heavy. And they're asking, I forget what the price is. I can't really see, but they're asking, I think like 100 something, 150, 170, maybe even 200. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not about to spend 100 something on this. And the only reason why is that there are 4 other monsters that goes with him. So I would rather have all 5 rather than just one. And if they're all over 100 each, you're looking at maybe $900 for all the 5. Really cool Ronin warriors. Like I said, these are the carded ones. Aside from the loose one we saw earlier. Love the red one. Love the white one. 2 of my favorites. Like I said, I used to have these, when the show was airing. But I remember just losing parts left and right. Shoulder parts, knee, shin parts, helmets. I remember just not be able to find those. They just like disappear. I think that was one of the flaws with these kind of toys that have so many micro parts that kids lose them. But I don't think a lot of people remember Ronin Warriors or watched Ronin Warriors. I don't see a lot of people collecting their toys. If they are, they're not visible. Also saw this horse and guy set, Dark Rider, Talpa. I don't know who this is. I don't remember this guy from the show at all. But looks really cool. I think they're asking 100 something. I can't really see. They do have a trading cards section. I'm more into trading cards now. That Lady Death card looks cool. I bought it. I'll show it later at the end of the video. So now I'm collecting trading cards, and I stopped collecting figures only because action figures take up so much space. And if I buy them in the box, I usually want to keep the box. So I need an extra space just for boxes, and then spaces for the figures. So I switched over to collecting trading cards. I'm a huge Digimon fan. Later on in my channel, I'll show some Digimon cards. I was walking by the comic book area and I saw this Ninja Turtles bin. So I just started digging through it to see what they have. I did find some really cool stuff. It was really hard to dig through it with one hand holding the phone and the other hand digging. So I turned off my phone to dig through a little bit. I don't know if these are magazines or a comic. They're too big to be comic books. They look like magazine size. I'm gonna assume these are just magazines. Oh, that's a Bruce Lee pose right there. Hey, that looks like a G.I. Joe character. Just the way it's designed. I know these are magazines. That's a little creepy, as the title suggested. Mad magazines? I don't know what that is. I do have a bit of a soft spot for magazines. When I was a kid in the 90s, that's kind of how we get informations. There's no internet, so we have to, look through magazines for anything that we need. I've never read ElfQuest. I heard it's pretty good. It's a pretty good comic series. I've never read it though, so I was just looking through to see what kind of art covers do they have. I think this is a kind of look like a graphic novel type. Okay, that's a pretty cool cover. UFO connection? Not sure what this is. The thing about magazine and comics is that they come and go so fast that if you don't really keep up with it, you kind of miss it. So that's why it's fun for me to go back and kind of figure out what did I miss when these magazines and these comics were coming out. I'm a huge fan of Ren and Stimpy. Okay, that's an interesting cover. There's nothing there. Alright, so these are the two Turtles comics that I first really want to get. One was $20 and one was $12. But I found one in the bin that is only $10, not $20. I don't know why. Maybe it's the quality of the comic. But Turtles and Archie, love it. Mighty Mutanimals, it's a mini 3 series. I got all the three comics. I'm gonna read them and maybe I'll show them to you guys and see how they look. I love the cartoony. Wildcats, didn't get the toys, but I found the comics. I got two. One is Prism Hollow. The other one has a really cool cover. I got a Digimon card. Saw this. I don't think I have it, so I got it. And that Lady Death card, I bought it. This is a phone card. You use it to call international, so you don't, pay an arm and a leg. So yeah, I went to a toy store and bought some comics. We were just at Acme Superstore in Orlando, Florida. Thanks for watching.